swing and a fly ball out towards right center. Castellanos is there. And the Phillies are National League Eastern Division champs.
Fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music.
Out at home plate. What a play by Hoffman. He got him. And the ball game and the series are over. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. And the Phillies close out the National League East. They are the champions of 2024.
Alrighty, welcome back, Chasers, to a special postseason edition of the Quit Chasin Podcast. We're a little cheeky and a little irreverent, but we are always unqualified. I'm Alex Kruger. That's Danny Gerb. Danny, say hi to the folks.
Hey, everyone. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm great, man. I am feeling alive, which is fun. I'm excited to talk a little bit about what we've seen so far this postseason. Chase Nation, if I may. We never actually kind of told you what our plans were for how we were going to cover the Phillies here in the postseason. So allow us to rectify that mistake now and explain that our plan is, well, you're living in it, folks. When we feel like coming on to talk about the Phils, we're going to do that. And when we don't feel like coming on and talking about the Phils, we're not going to. We're not going to force it. And then whenever the season ends, whenever that occurs, we will do a wrap-up episode. We're not going to leave you hanging. That wrap-up episode might be 6 minutes of what the hell just happened, but we promise we will get you a wrap-up episode. So with that, Dano, we are headed up to Flushing's Queen, whatever it's called, New York, after splitting the series 1-1 while here in Philadelphia. How do you feel, man?
I feel great. So everyone, Alex is right. We didn't announce what we're doing, and he just laid down the plan. I feel he left out the most important part of it all, and that is thanking all of you. Chase Nation, thank you. The OG Day One listeners, thank you. Everyone who came along for the ride anywhere in between, thank you. Those of you that are still with us, absolutely, thank you very much. I hope it was as much fun for you as it was for Alex and myself. And we hope that our last handful of episodes this season are going to be fun ones and not us just saying F a lot, which could happen.
It's true. It's very much true.
Yeah. So, now that that's out of the way, it's not out of the way. It's deserved. You deserve it. And we are so thankful for you. And we were happy to be on this ride with you.
Amen to that. And honestly, guys, if it wasn't for Danny and I coming on every week to talk to you and sharing all of this with you, who knows if we would have made it and still watched as religiously as we did from, London till the end of the season. Cause it got dicey at times there. We'd always follow, but actually dedicating 2 to 3 hours of your day to just pitiful baseball, it can really drain the soul sometimes, but we're so happy that you joined us for this ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, folks. So what we want to do here is we kind of want to go through the last two games, the games that were, if you will. So we're going to talk about that first game in which the New York Mets beat the Phillies 6-2. In this game, Zach Wheeler started and was borderline brilliant. No, there is no borderline. He was brilliant, man. 7 innings, 1 hit, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts. 111 pitches. There's not much you can do except tip your hat and say thank you so much for just a workman-like experience. And then came the 8th, man, and Topper did what Topper's supposed to do, dude. He went to Hoffman. He went to Strom. He went to Kerkering. Unfortunately, that ended up costing us 5 runs. And the only run that we got on the day was there were 2 runs. There were actually 2 runs. The first one was a Schwarber bomb in the first inning. The last one was God love him, Cody Clemens double to right.
Yeah, I don't blame you, Alex. It felt like 1 run, didn't it?
It really did feel like 1 run because honestly, by the time it was 6-1 going into the 9th, this being the Mets. And the fact that, here's the thing, folks, you got to remember, it was 1-0 for 7 innings. And we know no one wins a World Series on the backs of a 1-0 game. We knew we had to do more, and nobody did anything. We had 5 hits all day. Schwarber was 2 of those in the first 8 inning. It was a pitiful offensive performance.
Yeah, we'll thank him again. Jack Fritz, thanks for being on our show last week. I saw your tweet during that game, grow up and score a run, and how we all felt. Yeah, right? Whew, man, how validating did that game feel, Alex? Not that we want to rub it in the noses of people, but
No.
Chase Nation, how about your boys?
You much more so than me, sir. You have been railing about, and I don't know how much of High Hopes and High Hopes After Dark you were listening to. No, the one time I prepare for you to do High Hopes After Dark, you didn't do High Hopes.
I didn't. I didn't because you did High Hopes After Dark. So you didn't go Phillies After Dark.
That's true. I guess we both.
It's a different brand. Yeah,
it is a different brand. You're absolutely right. But no, and they were alluding to on the show, like all the things that you didn't want to see from the Phillies happened in that first game. A beautiful Zach Wheeler performance, with zero offensive support. The meltdown of Matt Strom, Jeff Hoffman, not Kirk. He did a good job, but like the stalwarts of your bullpen wasn't it. The fact that the entire offense just kind of took the day off, and you start to wonder, like, all right, we know that we can't blame it on the bye because that's just such weak. That's such Mickey Mouse, Little League stuff. Like blaming excuses instead of saying what the truth was we came out sluggish and rusty and we weren't ready for game one. That's what real champions do. Couple of the Phillies, however,
we were chasing out of our shoes.
Chasing out of our shoes when they know they need to quit chasing, but no one wants to give us the plug. No one says quit chasing.
Like the podcast said.
Chasing. Unbelievable. It's unreal. Can we buy a Quit Chasin, Trebek? Can we buy a Val? That's say Jack. But anyways, so all of that is to say, I don't even remember where I was going with that, Danny. Oh yeah, so the Phillies in the post-game interviews, Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos,
the clouds.
Danny, they start talking about cloud coverage, and like
I know.
I tried today to come to peace with the comments of like, all right, I guess 4:00 in October is a different sunsetting versus shadow situation than in July. But at the same time, your major leaguers making 6 figures or 7 figures or 9 figures, whatever it may be, you're fine. You're going to be able to find a way to figure it out. The Mets did. And that was really frustrating. What did you think of Shadowgate?
So that's what threw me through an all-time meltdown. So I've been watching it really is. So I was watching like all the hype videos and everything. And when you're scrolling through the hype videos, you start getting into player interview videos, and then you start getting into past player interview videos. And the Bryce Harper one came up at the end of the NLCS in 22, where he said, that's why I wanted to play in Philly. If you're not wearing pinstripes, they hate you. No excuses. And I was like, you know what? Where's that mentality? Because you guys sure had a lot. You were complaining about the shadows.
It threw me through a loop, dude. I did not expect that. And again, I'm gonna keep finding ways to make excuses for it. Like Cassie's just that guy that speaks his mind. Maybe the shadows on that day were tricking with him, but it's still not a good enough answer.
Also, all of the Braves NLDS games that were the sunny afternoon games, and they raked an early inning. So I find it very weird that we're hearing about the afternoon NLDS shadows now. This season, I didn't like it. Yeah,
no, I mean, you got me on that one. Like there is no excuse, and it's just
right.
It's weak sauce, dude.
Big time loser energy. And if you would have came out and said we were swinging out of our shoes, we're like, yeah, that's what you do. I wouldn't have been happy, but man, that shadow thing really irked me. It sent me on a rant.
It was tough.
Multiple people, multiple friends. Yeah,
and you got to think. Okay, so the Mets had 6 runs in the 8th inning, 5 runs in the 8th inning, 1 run in the 9th. It was all off singles, man. There were no extra base hits. They were just grinding out at bat after at bat. And you got to admit, man, this Mets magic, dude. Like there is something to that. There is something to the fact that bullpens be damned. You better be the team that goes last, and you better have a lead because otherwise it's not going to work out for you, dude. They have some crazy ability to show up and close. You got anything else to say about game one?
No. So in their defense, those were 5:07 start time. So it was an hour later in the past 2 seasons. So I don't know. I just looked it up. Just if I'm gonna spout stuff, but still, First year we heard it, I don't like it. An hour. I get sun moves quickly this time of year, but
Well, and also you put a mic in front of Casty, he's gonna answer. You can't tell him what to and not to say. Like, so maybe it's like, hey, like maybe we just like not, but no, it's Casty. He's gonna say four seam fastball just as easily as he's gonna say I'm afraid of shadows today. You know, who knows?
that's true. Good point. Yeah, the bullpen collapse. I would have been bummed about it, but obviously been bummed about it. But I think it was the combination of just the at bats that we saw. Like I got constant text messages from people just citing game 6 and 7. Like the Phillies in one game managed to wake up a PTSD amongst the Delaware Valley. So good for them. They did that. That's what they wanted to do. Good for them.
It was epic. Sometimes they say to truly erase your demons, you have to face them. And we got to face it in game 1 of this year's postseason, or as I like to call it, game 8 of last year's postseason.
Yeah. Let's do Bozo Radio show real quick. So
go for it.
Topper taking out Wheeler with 111 pitches.
You have to take Wheeler out at 111 pitches. Are you kidding me? You're not playing for today. You're playing for the next game too. You cannot blow that arm. Like, if you're going to lose, you damn sure better lose as a team. Like, you have to preserve a Wheeler because he's not going to come out if you don't want. Like, no, that was the right time to pull him. Our bullpen is who they are. They should have been able to hold that out. Like, that was what, 6 outs? They should have been able to do that with the 3 names that we've been mentioning coming out of the pen. No, that I have nothing wrong with what Topper has done so far in this series, because game 1's lineup was the lineup we all expected, and that made sense. And then he wasn't afraid to move things around in game 2. About 4 hours before first pitch, we learned that Alec Boehm was on the bench for game 2, and Sosa was playing at third. The
energy guy. He's our
energy guy. Defensive statistics be damned, apparently. But it was something. It was something, and it moves Stotty, the birthday boy, up to the 5 hole, which was fascinating for a guy that who knows what to do with him this year at any given moment. And so we started the game, and it started off a little bit like, interesting. But then Trey got on base, and then Trey got aggressive on the base pass, and like he was stealing the base, and there seemed to be that extra level of fire, that extra level of intensity. And we had Sanchez on the mound. Now, if you want to ask me if he pulled Sanchez too early, 100% yes. Yes.
88 pitches, was it?
Yep. And I think Chris Sanchez has earned 100. I think he's earned 100 in a postseason game. Now, you could argue that our 4 hole is a bit iffy. So you might, who knows what they're going to do with the bullpen and the arms and what's going on. But regardless, Sanchez did his job. Like I said, when our friend Jack Fritz from the High Hopes podcast was on our show last week, Sanchez is going to get you 2 to 3 earned runs, and you should be able to out hit that. And at first did not look like it was going to happen, but then came that 6th inning, that pesky 6th inning. And again, guys start to get on base, guys start to feel it. Wouldn't you know it? Harper did his job. Harper came up with Turner on, I believe, first or second. Who knows? Who cares? And Harper hit the pitch he needed to hit and knocked it out of the yard. It was a 3-2 game at that point. Next up's Casty. Casty knocks another one, ties it up. And the thing that I found the best about that, and I'm so excited to have this part of the conversation, because to understand why it was so big that Casty hit that home run, you kind of have to dial it back a little bit and talk about these freaking people. Okay.
Yeah.
I am really excited that the voices we listen to in Philadelphia media are all agreeing with the fans that there was nothing wrong with what we did at that stadium, which was boo him when he swung at a pitch that was about 50 feet, 6 inches instead of 60 feet, 6 inches, bounced in the dirt. And then the second time when he laid off, we all derisively cheered for him. He takes a step back. He says to himself, these freaking people. Casty went on to have the postseason. Honestly, it's not even the postseason game of his life. Thanks to
all it's not.
He did last year, but he had a postseason game for the ages. He ties it up. He hits a go-ahead knock, and then he walks it off. Like, Casty did all the things you needed to do, and it was the game that we needed to see, man, because they went up 3-0. We weren't doing much, and then we tied it up, and then Nimmo the wuss hit a home run, and we're like, great, not this again. They're up 4-3. But then Stotty tripled, and in comes Harper and Casty, and Real Muto got Stotty in. And like, we were playing small ball, and we were doing the things we need to do, coupled with some well-timed home runs. And it was just phenomenal, because when Vientos came up and hit his second 2-run knock of the day, this kid, I'll tell you what, he's playing David Wright's position. I'm starting to hate him as much as I hate David Wright. At least the early returns are starting to prove that way, because dude has a level of what the hell in him right now. He is playing like a man on fire, and I don't love it. But again, big money was on the bases. Turner and Harper first and second. Casty came up, knocked him home, and we all knew it the moment it hit off the bat. And it was just, these are the fightins. That's what we're talking about. This is what we needed to see. This is what we hadn't seen in easily 6 straight playoff games. Yes, we won Game 5 last year against Arizona. Nobody felt great about that win. We all felt like, okay, we did the win, but it wasn't a statement win. It wasn't coming back 3 times in the same game to keep pouncing back. They did that thing that we need them to do for us to believe that they are championship caliber. They did not stay down. And I understand that national media is going to clown Harper for saying that Rocky would have been proud because he's a fictional character. But you know what, guys? Rocky would have been proud. He's not wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah. Rock would have been proud. He didn't hear no bell. Come on, there's a reason everyone uses it. It's not for the whole Rocky in sports. It's not a Philly thing. Every sports club, everyone who that didn't hear no bell. Like everyone says it about everything. The guy the lovelorn dude trying to get his college ex back, says it. When they're like, hey, did you hear Jenny's got a new boyfriend? Oh, you're no bell. Everyone says it about everything. So
meanwhile, their friends are saying, take her to the zoo, Rock. I hear they like the zoo. That was for you, Matty.
I love, what is it? 4 at the end? Is that the one they go to the
and you can change?
Oh, that was 4. Then
everybody can change.
Whatever one is there, they go. Yes, and he's reconnecting.
That's the worst, man. Tommy Guns, dude.
He's reconnecting with his son, and he goes to the art museum, and he goes, all these years I've been running up these steps, I didn't know they had a whole bunch of pretty pictures in there. Like, love it. A whole bunch of pretty pictures in there. Absolutely love it.
Oh, my God. Delco delicious, baby.
Well, that might be that. I don't know. We were talking
talk. We were talking Harper talk. Well, all right, Pander City. We end up getting to so all right, man.
Yes.
Exhale. We've got a series. This Mets magic.
Yes.
It at least can run out. We can fell this bullshit of really good fortune that they're bringing to the park. Honestly, really good execution. Like, the Mets are no joke. The Mets are no slouch. The Mets are not last year's Diamondbacks. They are a legitimate contender for this thing. And if they do end up overtaking us, like, battle well fought, dude. Like, these guys are no joke. As much as I hate Pete Alonso, I don't hate Francisco Lindor. I mean, I do because he's a Mets, but not really. I don't know. But there are some dudes that it's really easy to hate, like Brandon Nimmo, Jesse Winker. Like, super easy to hate. Grimace.
Well, Grimace is my dude.
Grimace, dude. I am a team Hamburglar guy, and I feel like maybe Philly should just adopt Hamburglar.
Oh, that would be an epic throw job. I would like that. I would like to see that. If it gets to Game 5.
Okay, I can dig it. We'll
Philadelphia
with Hamburger post.
Yes, Philadelphia Hamburglar it up down there at CBP.
Honestly, there's a Spirit Halloween at least 20 feet away from you right now that has a jailbird costume. It's super easy. You can do it right now.
Yeah. So here's the thing. These are my takeaways. This is what I'm hovering on. Whoo. I'm somewhere in between. Like, I think you'll appreciate this because you do the same thing that I do. We like to craft these stories, this narrative that the baseball gods could be writing, right? And what one is better. And the narrative of, like, all right, this team's getting a little chippy, this OMG and Grimace, and I got a text from a buddy who was just like, I can't stand watching this Mets team. They're acting like a bunch of drunk white girls at a wedding. And like, wow, they do, right? And listen, we were the fun team too, but like, there's some new narratives being written. Like, All right. And I enjoy the element of the hot, spunky, barely should be there wild card team running through the MLB postseason, wreaking
And that's
havoc.
the Tigers anyway. That's the Tigers. Can that be the Tigers instead of the Mets? How about that?
Yeah.
Can that be the Tigers' turn?
I mean, aren't they? They're way more the darling than the Mets are, right?
100%. We love
so
Detroit.
but I like that. I like that character. Like if this was a reality TV show, like I like casting that character in the postseason. I think there needs to be one of them. Enough with them moving on. Like we've seen it a couple times. We were the benefactors of it one year. It was fun. We were on the magic carpet ride. But the thing with the magic carpet rides is eventually those teams die a death, right?
Eventually the genie's magic wears off, and you got to face Jafar as Aladdin, not as Prince Ali. I agree with you.
Right, and you got to think their bullpen isn't the best. It's not even good.
Oh, there's a reason Edwin Diaz was coming out in the 7th last night.
Right, and that's what I was getting at. And it's getting so worked. And if you remember our fun magic carpet rides, they were fun until everyone just hit the wall and died a death. And I think that fight, the Phillies coming out of that fight, it's still going to be a dog fight, but it's no longer the oh my goodness, the Mets are just going to keep on answering, because I have a feeling the Phillies are going to answer. There's just small things that I see the trajectory of this series changing. We get to the bullpens, we're good. My worry is the game 4, right? If you don't win game 3 with Nola on the mound, you don't win that game 3. You're now down 2-1. And you're going into a game 4 with a complete unknown. Yeah, exactly. An unknown. And what our bullpen is doing right now, the bullpen game doesn't sound great. That also, though, I do feel it was an anomaly.
I think our guys, every so often, dude, they do have one of these little blips where like 2 or 3 games they're getting tattooed. Hoffman got tattooed right before the break, and then he just kind of like, I think these things happen to these dudes. These things happen to these bullpens. I think they'll be okay. I'm not as concerned with the bullpen as I am with the 4 starter.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it too. That's why I mean they're all must wins. It's postseason, right? But tomorrow is the mustiest of must wins.
It is mustier than a 13-year-old's bedroom. So a couple of thoughts I had while you were saying that. One, we all love a good story. So having said that, isn't it kind of Greek mythologically speaking?
Oh yeah,
the idea of
I never got there, but yours is
it's
probably
okay.
better.
I got you. So we were once the plucky upstarts, baseball gods on our side, and then we have continually crafted championship winning whatevers and have gone to the postseasons and have now earned our way to the spot that we're at. Wouldn't it make sense that we have to take down our mirror version of ourselves at the beginning of our journey to be able to ascend the mountaintop? Isn't that
wow, that is
Greek when you think about it?
That's pretty heady,
right?
Yeah, I like it.
Baseball gods, I hope you're paying attention. I just gave you a really cool segue in your book.
Yeah, you have to beat the younger you now.
You have to beat the plucky upstart you to actually ascend. That's why the Braves couldn't do it. And that's why they've now, we've seen what happens. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to piss you off, baseball gods. Okay. I'm being respectful here.
I'm still of the impression, if you've been watching this LA Padres series, and actually fun series. I'm still in the impression that I like this Mets matchup more than the Brewers matchup. The Brewers, are they going to put up that spunky fight that gets the team out of the funk that they were in game 1?
Nope. You're so right. They're so Milwaukee nice.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do whatever Brandon Nimmo said as he came across the base saying, "Where's Sanchez?" Talking and chirping. That got our boys fired up because, again, Nimmo hit that homer and then Stotty tripped and then Real Muto got him home. Like, that's when the fight really locked on. Like, don't talk to us. We love it.
Right. I don't want to count gooses before they are laid or whatever the saying is. But if the Phils do get through this series, I think they're all the better for it. I think it puts them in a way better position than if they were to have played the Brewers and get through a Brewers series. And it's going to be a dogfight. I'm more optimistic today, obviously, after evening it up than I was Saturday evening. But that's not just because of the win. That's because of how they won, answering back. Way better approaches at the plate. You saw it. Hopefully, they noticed in the clubhouse when they changed their approach, it actually pays off and it works and it pays dividends because they changed and it worked.
It sure did. And I'm hopeful, man. Like, there is every reason to have faith and to believe and to see what happens next. Let me ask you a question. What have you thought of AJ Pierzynski and crew so far commenting during this playoffs?
So I watched game 1 at Yards, couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
I watched the game 2 at my house on mute.
Damn. Okay. Wow. They haven't annoyed me that much yet.
Yeah, that's cool. I've been seeing a lot of posts where the people have like just completely destroyed them. So I don't really know. I can't stand not the local boys spinning it in my favor.
Yes.
Especially when like I'm puckered and pacing. Like
true. And when we need Crucky to take us off the ledge to have us delete the rope in our cart. Yeah, no, 100%. Now, I remember why I was stalling to get to this point, but I will say this. And I kind of want to go back now that I think about it, but I think divisional matchups in the divisional round is some of the best baseball content of the last 5 years. You think about the Phillies Braves series that we've seen. These Dodgers LA series have always been good when they face off in the playoffs. The NL East seems to always have at least one other team in it. You could kind of say our series with the Marlins last year, but not really. But so I do think that was wild card. But anyways, like I do think there's something to these these divisional series with divisional opponents, because you're seeing right now LA, San Diego, it's getting ugly, it's getting chippy, it's getting personal, it's getting awesome. And I feel like Mets Philly is a couple of dumb decisions away from either fan base being stupid. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. I don't know. The Mets fans are weird. They're passionate in their own weird, annoying kind of way. I don't know if they're in the ballpark mess with people kind of passionate.
I hope not.
I think they're fairly fraudulent.
That's more of a Yankee thing.
I think they come out.
That's a great point.
I think they come out, like, listen, everyone has that fan base that, it comes out when they're in the playoffs. It's human nature, right? Ballparks sell out everywhere during the playoffs. It's exciting time to watch baseball. I don't blame that. I just feel that the Mets fans are a little more fraudulent when it comes to that. Almost like the Diamondbacks, like they found out that they had a baseball team in Arizona last year.
Here's the difference. Arizona, they couldn't fill that stadium for the playoffs. Mets are going to fill their stadium. So if I were to argue,
Mets started filling their stadium at the end of the season, yes.
And when they play us.
And our stadium. Yeah.
That's true. So I would think the Mets are kind of like Pittsburgh in that way of like, yeah, their fans aren't annoying jerk fans, but they'll fill up a stadium, and otherwise it's going to be 30% full. Just what you're getting.
Yeah, we'll see. I think, yeah, if anything happens, it's going to be like, the Nimos and Winklers of the world trying to start it on the field. Harper's hot. He might draw a little, but
Harper's hot, man. If he gets pitched one too many inside pitches from a rookie or pitcher he deems not worthy to throw him inside to that level, if people have been, I don't know, I wouldn't mind a Harper pop off at some point. Like that'd be cool.
Closer to shoring up the series.
That's a great call.
I will take
that's
it.
A great call. Sure, that's fantastic. You're right, because we can manufacture hype without that right now, and let's do it the old.
Like if he wants to give him the old how do you do on the way out, I'm fine with that.
I would have no problem with that as well. They are divisional rivals. That is just kind of what you do. And the baseball guys would understand that.
Yeah, I think
all right, man.
Too.
Shall we do that tacky baseball show thing where we predict what's going to happen over the next 2 games in Flushing, New York? We don't have to.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we never done it. Let's try our hand at it.
I'm thinking it's a split, dude. Win 3,
Yeah,
lose 4.
Split still too. That's
Okay.
that's how I
Guess it's
see
an
it as
easy
well. Yeah. There's that whole, I was texting with a buddy today, the whole Nola enigma. Well, when are you getting?
October Nola. I'm going to go October Nola. He's usually good for 2 or 3 starts, man.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm going to go October Nola. And then, so that would be fascinating if it did go to 5, because then 5 is going to be Wheeler. And then game 1 of the NLCS, you imagine it's going to be Sanchez, 2 Nola, and then 3 Wheeler, which is fascinating.
I think that also depends on where it is, right?
Amen to that. Amen to that. Because what are the well, either way, it's the West Coast.
Yes, but is game 1 in Philly or is it away?
Oh, true. Okay, yeah, but you know what? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not. Let's worry about the series ahead against a really, really plucky, annoyingly magical, and hot team, the Mets. And let's hope that what we did last night was remind each other and remind ourselves what we're capable of when we're disciplined and just on it. Danny, what you got to close us out?
Actually, there's part of me that thinks this ends in Queens.
I would love that. Wait, in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way.
Okay, because most people that listen to our show would have assumed that you were going for a bad way there.
There was that turnaround, man. That adjustment was made in the 5th, maybe before. We'd all noticed it in the 5th. Once that adjustment was made, it looked like it went down the lineup. Benching Bohm showed a sign that this year is going to be managed differently. There's let them be the drunk girls at the wedding. We now are a business. There was some sort of wake up check there. They looked from the 5th on that. Okay, they have that look like this is our ring to get again, and I think that continues. I think they're going to now look like the more poised, playoff tested team going forward, and I think New York is going to be running around with their OMG and grimaces and Nimmo popping off, and Pete Alonso doing the whatever hand thing with his dork face. And I think they're just going to get steamrolled by a poised, professional-looking, we're down to play business. And I give it to the fans, man. This is finally, that's the narrative I was getting at.
Awesome.
The Magic Carpet, we were the Magic Carpet team. Running on vibes, fueled by vibes. And the fueled by vibes isn't sustainable. It's like a vegan diet. You're eventually going to run out of vegan energy and crash and die malnourished and skinny and with weird colored skin. To all my vegan friends out there, I apologize.
Right? Oh, if they had the energy to type, they would be typing furiously at you.
You sure would. Well, watch out. Don't break your finger. No, it's their choice, and I support it. I really do. But jokes aside, and we saw it with our team, and the fan base didn't just sing along to AOK yesterday. Nope. They booed. They booed
Casty. When they booed Casty and then cheered,
they were booing everyone.
It was the
4th.
Good, because, and that's the thing that, like, some people, were giving me a little bit of crap for being extra harsh on the Phillies and whatnot. And I have no ill beliefs in anything that I said. I am going to hold the Phillies to a higher register and hold them accountable, because guys like Bryce and guys like Casty are going to hold themselves to. And when you hold them accountable, they're going to want to piss you off and prove you wrong. And that's what I'm here for. So if I got to be that negative energy fuel that gets you to the mountaintop, I don't care. I want to get to that mountaintop. So here you go. Boo.
This Phillies team, that is this era of Phillies, this was the first time they weren't coddled and they responded.
Holy shit. That's a great point. This is the first time that the fans stopped giving them a pass in these situations at home.
It is.
Stop trying to will it by singing and by clapping and by twirling and start saying, you know what? No, man.
This is unacceptable.
This is unacceptable. I'm not going to the clinic. I'm not getting burned again, dude. Like you're going to have to show me that you're deserving of my love, and then I'll give it to you. And they did that. And the big money guys, like I said before that inning, $700 million is coming up to the plate here. 1, 2, 3. If we're going to do it, it's going to have to be now. It's going to have to be these guys. And they did it. They showed up and they shut me up. And that's what I'm looking for.
I was at Yards Brewery watching the game, and whatever that was, the bottom of the sixth, where Cassie offers at the ball that bounced in front of the plate, that place erupted. A bunch of FUs, this effing shit again. Like, they are now being held accountable for that stuff. And guess what, man? He reacted. He didn't like it, but he reacted. And
he respects us for it. You know he does. You know he respects us for holding him to that level. Like, these freaking people, like, damn, I really can't win one. No, you can't. Not until you win one.
I was reading tweets that Stott's up and they're not even singing A-OK. And what's he do? He answers with a triple.
Hear it. I didn't hear A-OK at all last night.
Because we don't want to sing anymore. We don't want to sing while we watch you chase out of your shoes. We are done with that. They were held accountable, and the team noticed. They changed their approach. They look poised. They look professional. They look like they're back on the mission. And now I think they're going to take it to the Mets. They had their wake up.
Hilariously, do you know who did not change their approach last night?
No, who?
Brandon Marsh. He gets
he did it
for the pinch hit.
Well, okay.
And he immediately hits a 1-pitch pop out. And you're like, bro, do you want on this roster? Do you want on this team? What are you doing, guy?
You mean Bohm?
What'd I say?
You said Marsh.
Oh, crap. I'm so sorry. I meant Bohm.
Yeah.
Bohm gets in and a first pitch pop up. And it's like, buddy, you got benched because your hitting is putrid. And your response is flail and just hit a weak pop. It literally an infield fly rule pop up. Are you kidding me?
Well, there's been some whispers throughout Philly media that it was his, Bohmy temper tantrums and it's contagious, and they wanted to make that
good.
And then hold on, because we're all tired of that.
You and I hate the helmet flip and the.
I've been tired of it,
dude.
Well, not to quote Spike Eskin here, because who wants to do that? But
every now and then a blind squirrel finds a nut, and I find that every now and then I do agree with Spike. Go ahead.
The afternoon show, he said today, that pinch hit, I don't know how someone can mope through an at-bat, but he found a way to do it.
Wow. Dude, he does have some damn gems, because that's exactly what happened. He mopes through that at-bat. Meanwhile, Stott hits a triple. I'm telling you, if I had to, if they don't somehow finish this up, I guarantee you the daycare is closed and Bohm and possibly Marsh are gone. If they do not get out of this series, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, we hate playing fantasy GM, but you would assume one of them is gone. At least
we do, but
one of them.
Right.
I think that's how it works. One of them.
And honestly, if we don't get out of the division series, daycare needs to be done, because I'm done seeing that too, if that's the case. But that's a pod for a Saturday. We're not there right now.
No, not at all. But so I'm leaving on a high note. I think Citizens Bank Park holding them accountable for the first time in this run. I loved it. I love seeing it. It's about time we get back to being Philly. Listen, man, Harper talks about it. He says if you're not doing well, they'll let you know. That's why I wanted to come here. So, don't feel that we have to be this ovation tray now going forward. No, the players know what they signed up for. They responded. I'm not saying be nasty, call their kids names. I'm saying give them the Bronx cheer when they're swinging at something that's bouncing before the plate. That's absolutely acceptable. It seems to work at this point. And they looked poised and they looked professional, and they had professional at-bats after that happened.
They did.
And look what happened. They answered and won. So let's go.
Let's go. Keep slugging. Quit chasing.
Absolutely. That's where I'm at with it.
I love it. Danny, say the thing.
Hey, we will do better some other time. We'll find out when. I promise. Everybody knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant.